Hey everyone, what's up? It's Enoch Coronado with Coronado Realty Group, and today I'm diving into a topic that's super helpful for students, families, and anyone considering life in Waco, Texas. I'm breaking down the 10 biggest pros and 10 biggest cons of going to Baylor University, the good, the challenging, and everything in between. If you're thinking about applying or just curious what Baylor life is really like, this one's for you. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you found this info helpful, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you're listening on my podcast, follow me as well. So let's get started on the 10 pros of going to Baylor University. Number one, strong academic reputation. Baylor is consistently ranked among the top private universities in the nation, and for good reason. They offer a broad range of academic programs that are both rigorous and respected, not just in Texas, but across the country. If you're aiming for a career in pre-med, nursing, law, engineering, education, or business, Baylor delivers serious academic firepower. Their pre-health program is nationally recognized, with students getting hands-on clinical experience early on, along with personalized advising to help them stay competitive. In fact, Baylor has one of the highest medical school acceptance rates in Texas, well above the national average. The nursing school has a partnership with major hospitals in Dallas, giving students the chance to work in real-world healthcare settings before they even graduate. Same goes for their law school, which is one of the most rigorous in the state. It's known for producing sharp, well-prepared attorneys who pass the bar at high rates. And when it comes to business, the Hancomer School of Business offers concentrations in everything from finance and marketing to entrepreneurship and supply chain management, with internship pipelines into major companies. What sets Baylor apart isn't just the curriculum, it's the professors. You're not sitting in 500-person lecture halls. You're in classes where professors know your name, meet with you one-on-one, and actually care about your success. They're not just academic researchers, they're mentors, often bringing in real-world experience and helping you navigate both coursework and your career path. Plus, Baylor invests heavily in academic support services. We're talking tutoring centers, writing labs, career coaching, and dedicated advisors for every major. So whether you're prepping for med school or launching a startup, Baylor gives you the tools and the people to help make it happen. Number two, gorgeous campus. Let's talk about the vibe, because Baylor's campus is honestly one of the most beautiful in the country. From the moment you step foot on it, you feel it. It's not just a place to study, it's a place that inspires you to slow down, look around, and enjoy where you are. Picture this, red brick buildings with white trim, classic Southern architecture that gives off Ivy League energy with Texas warmth. The tree-lined walkways wind across green lawns, flower gardens, and peaceful study spots that make you actually want to walk to class. The Brazos River runs along the edge of campus, and the footbridge that connects both sides of the university gives you incredible views, especially at sunrise or sunset. Whether you're biking, jogging, or just enjoying some quiet time with your coffee, the riverfront is a hidden gem. Then there are the iconic Baylor landmarks that make the campus truly special. You've got Pat Neff Hall with its glowing golden dome lit up in green after every Baylor win. There's McLean Stadium right on the water, where game days feel like a celebration and you can actually sailgate, yes, tailgating from a boat on the river. It doesn't get more Texas than that. And let's not forget one of the most unique features of any college campus in America, Baylor's live bear habitat. That's right, Baylor has real, living bear mascots right on campus in a beautiful, humane enclosure. Students often stop by between classes just to check in on the bears and snap a selfie. Everything about the layout and design of the campus feels intentional. It's walkable, welcoming, and peaceful. You're surrounded by nature, but still just minutes from downtown Waco. It gives you that tight-knit college town vibe, but without feeling isolated or stuck in the middle of nowhere. Whether you're hanging out under the shade of a massive oak tree, grabbing lunch at the Student Union building, or watching the fountain light up at night, Baylor's campus just feels like home. It's a place where you can focus, recharge, and truly enjoy the college experience. Number three, faith-based community. One of the things that makes Baylor stand out from other universities is its strong Christian foundation. Baylor is a place where faith isn't just a checkbox, it's woven into the student experience in a meaningful yet respectful way. If you're someone who wants to grow spiritually as well as academically, Baylor offers a community that genuinely supports that journey. It's not about forcing religion on anyone. It's about creating a space where faith is welcomed, explored, and celebrated. The university hosts twice weekly chapel services for underclassmen, which feature speakers from all walks of life, pastors, authors, musicians, even global humanitarian leaders. These gatherings give students time to reflect, reset, and be reminded of something bigger than themselves in the middle of a busy week. But faith at Baylor isn't limited to the classroom or chapel. It's integrated into student life, leadership, and service opportunities. You'll find dozens of student-led ministries, everything from Bible studies in your residence hall to international mission trips and local outreach programs. Students are encouraged to serve in the community, mentor others, and live out their values in real, tangible ways. Classes, even in non-theology majors, often include ethical discussions that invite students to think critically about how their future profession can reflect integrity, compassion, and purpose. Whether you're studying business, science, education, or law, professors don't shy away from incorporating faith-based principles into bigger conversations about leadership and impact. And even if you don't identify as a Christian, Baylor still offers a respectful and inclusive atmosphere. Students of all faith backgrounds, or none at all, are welcomed, and conversations about belief, purpose, and identity are handled with grace and openness. For many students, the faith-based culture is what helps Baylor feel like more than just a school. It feels like a mission, a place where you're not only challenged to grow intellectually, but also encouraged to discover who you are spiritually. So if you're someone who values your faith, or you're just curious and open to learning more about living with purpose, Baylor offers a unique environment where those values are truly supported, not sidelined. On to number 4, school spirit and athletics. If you're a sports fan, or even if you just love being part of something bigger than yourself, Baylor's school spirit is next level. The pride that students, alumni, and the entire Waco community feel for Baylor athletics is something you can't miss. It's not just about the games, it's about the culture, the community, and the energy that brings everyone together. Baylor is part of the Big 12 Conference, one of the most competitive athletic conferences in the country. That means you're regularly seeing national level matchups, whether it's college football, basketball, baseball, or volleyball. These aren't just games, they're full-blown events. Let's talk about football Saturdays at McLean Stadium. First off, the stadium is right on the Brazos River, and yes, people actually sailgate. That's tailgating on boats. Picture a sea of green and gold, music blasting, grills fired up, and thousands of students and alumni getting hyped before kickoff. The excitement is contagious. Even if you've never watched a football game before, you'll find yourself chanting "Sic 'em Bears" before you know it. And when it comes to men's and women's basketball, Baylor is a powerhouse. The men's team won the NCAA National Championship in 2021, and the women's team consistently ranks among the top programs in the country. March Madness at Baylor is exactly that, madness in the best way possible. Campus is buzzing, the games are intense, and there's a real sense of pride in wearing that Baylor jersey. But school spirit isn't just limited to the big-name sports. From track and field to acrobatics and tumbling, Baylor supports a wide range of athletic programs, and students show up to cheer them on. There's a tight bond between athletes and non-athletes, and you can feel that camaraderie all over campus. And here's the thing, you don't have to be an athlete to get involved. Baylor has one of the most active intramural sports programs in the nation, whether it's flag football, basketball, ultimate frisbee, or even dodgeball. Students love competing, having fun, and building friendships through sports. There's also the Baylor line, a legendary student tradition where freshmen run across the football field before every home game wearing gold jerseys with their name and class year. It's wild, it's loud, and it's an unforgettable rite of passage for new Bears. At the end of the day, school spirit at Baylor is about more than wins and losses. It's about feeling like you're part of a family, rallying behind your team, and carrying that Baylor pride with you long after graduation. Whether you're in the stands, on the field, or watching from a tailgate party, you're part of the green and gold heartbeat that makes this university come alive. Next, number 5, supportive campus community. Ask almost any Baylor student what stands out the most, and you'll hear it time and time again. I didn't feel like just a number here. That feeling of being seen, known, and valued is a huge part of the Baylor experience. Baylor hits that sweet spot in size. It's large enough to offer tons of opportunities and resources, but still intimate enough that you don't get lost in the crowd. You're not just sitting in a massive lecture hall hoping your professor remembers your face. At Baylor, you can actually build real relationships with your professors and peers. Professors often go out of their way to offer office hours, mentorship, and career advice. They remember your name, they notice when you're not in class, and they actually care about how you're doing, not just academically, but personally. That one-on-one attention creates an environment where students feel supported, challenged, and believed in. Beyond the classroom, the student body itself is known for being welcoming and inclusive. Whether you're coming from out of state, out of the country, or just down the road, it doesn't take long to find your people. Student organizations, service groups, residence halls, and even faith-based communities make it easy to connect with others who share your interests and values. There's also a strong culture of mentorship. Upperclassmen often take younger students under their wing, whether that's helping them navigate classes, giving career tips, or just inviting them out to social events. Programs like Baylor's First in Line, Peer Leaders, and the Leadership Living Learning Center are specifically designed to help students feel at home and find guidance early on. Leadership development is a big deal at Baylor. From student government and campus ministries to service organizations and professional clubs, you're encouraged to step into roles where you can grow your confidence and make an impact. It's not just about joining clubs, it's about becoming a leader, one who serves others and leads with purpose. And here's what's cool. Baylor's supportive culture doesn't stop when you graduate. The alumni network is tight-knit and active, especially in Texas, but also across the country. That means support, job connections, and even friendships long after college is over. So if you're looking for a place where people actually care about each other, where you're not just another face in the crowd, and where you can grow with the help of a real community, Baylor checks every box. Number 6, financial aid and scholarships. Let's be real. Baylor is a private university, and that means the sticker price can look intimidating at first. But here's the good news. A huge percentage of students don't actually pay that full amount. Baylor knows that cost is a big deal, and they've made serious efforts to make their education more accessible through generous financial aid and scholarships. First off, Baylor offers competitive academic scholarships right off the bat, just based on your GPA, class rank, and test scores. Some students receive $15,000 to $25,000 per year or more in merit aid automatically, just for their academic performance in high school. That's tens of thousands of dollars off tuition over 4 years. But the scholarships don't stop there. Baylor also awards financial support based on things like leadership roles in school or community organizations, involvement in your church or youth ministry, participation in service or mission projects, talent in areas like music, debate, or athletics, and yes, there are also need-based grants for students who qualify financially. They even have a program called the Baylor Invitation to Excellence for high-achieving students to compete for additional aid through leadership and academic events. Plus, Baylor has a net price calculator on their website that gives families a personalized estimate of what they'd actually pay after aid. It helps take away the guesswork and shows how affordable Baylor can be when all the scholarships and grants are added in. In addition, the financial aid office is super proactive. They'll work with you and your family one-on-one, helping you find every possible resource, from federal application for student aid and state aid to work-study programs and private scholarships. And let's not forget, Baylor has a high 4-year graduation rate, which means you're more likely to graduate on time and save money by avoiding extra semesters. That can be a huge financial win in itself. So yes, the sticker price is high, but Baylor truly puts a lot of effort into investing in students who show potential, whether it's through academics, character, leadership, or service. And for many students, that investment makes the difference between thinking Baylor's out of reach and realizing it's totally possible. Number 7, alumni network and career opportunities. One of the biggest long-term advantages of going to Baylor is that the Baylor alumni network is strong, like really strong, and it's not just about connections on paper. Baylor grads tend to look out for each other in a way that feels personal and genuine, especially in Texas, where that green and gold pride runs deep. From Dallas to Houston to Austin, you'll find Baylor alumni in top companies, hospitals, law firms, startups, and school districts. And because of that strong shared identity, Baylor grads are often willing to mentor, refer, or even hire fellow Bears. That means internships, interviews, and job leads aren't just about luck, they're about being part of a tight-knit, respected community. Baylor makes it even easier to tap into this network with alumni mixers, networking events, and professional development panels that bring current students face-to-face with successful graduates. Whether you're majoring in business, nursing, communications, engineering, or education, there are industry-specific events where you can start building connections before you graduate. On campus, the Office of Career and Professional Development is extremely active. They host multiple career fairs throughout the year, including specialized ones for health sciences, law, and technology. These events draw recruiters from both local and national companies looking to hire Baylor students. There are also mentorship programs where students get paired with alumni working in their chosen field. This isn't just about polishing a resume, it's about having real conversations with people who've walked the path you're starting. Many students even land internships and job offers directly through these relationships. And for students looking into graduate school, Baylor's reputation carries serious weight. Whether you're aiming for med school, law school, seminary, or a top MBA program, the combination of academic strength and alumni support gives you a powerful edge. Plus, the Baylor Alumni Association stays engaged even after you graduate, offering continued support, job boards, networking chapters in major cities, and lifelong resources. Once you're a Bear, you're part of a professional family that's always rooting for you. So when it comes to building your future career, Baylor doesn't just give you a degree, they equip you with a network of people who actually want to see you succeed. On to number 8, living in Waco. Let's talk about Waco because it's not the small, sleepy town it used to be. Over the last decade, Waco has gone through a major glow up, and Baylor students get to enjoy the best of both worlds. A laid-back college town vibe with just the right touch of city energy. A huge part of that transformation is the Magnolia effect. Thanks to Chip and Joanna Gaines and their Magnolia empire, Waco has become a major tourist destination with boutique shopping, artisanal coffee shops, food trucks, festivals, and live music events. Places like Magnolia Market at the Silos, Common Grounds Coffee, and the Waco Downtown Farmers Market aren't just for tourists, they're hangouts for Baylor students too. The food scene in Waco is also growing fast. You've got a great mix of local favorites, trendy restaurants, taco joints, and southern comfort food spots. And because it's a college town, a lot of it is affordable, student-friendly, and walkable from campus. But here's where Waco really wins: location, location, location. You're smack dab in the heart of Texas, less than 2 hours from both Dallas and Austin. That opens up a world of possibilities. Want to hit a concert in Austin on a weekend? Easy. Got a job interview or internship opportunity in Dallas? No problem. You're close enough to tap into the resources of 2 major metropolitan areas without living in the middle of all the traffic and chaos. At the same time, Waco still has a small town charm and a strong sense of community, which gives it a relaxed, safe, and friendly feel. You'll often run into familiar faces at the local grocery store, coffee shop, or community event. It's the kind of place where people smile, say hi, and genuinely care. For outdoor lovers, Waco's got Lake Waco, the Waco Mammoth National Monument, Cameron Park, and the Brazos River, perfect for hiking, biking, kayaking, or just chilling out. Baylor students often head to the Riverwalk or explore the trails in between classes or on weekends. And because of Waco's growing popularity, there's been an increase in internship and job opportunities right in town, especially in hospitality, business, education, and healthcare. Bottom line, Waco gives you big city access with small town ease, and as a Baylor student, you get to enjoy it all, from Magnolia Magic to quick weekend getaways in every direction. Number 9, campus safety. Campus. When it comes to choosing a college, feeling safe on campus isn't just a bonus, it's essential, and Baylor goes above and beyond to make sure students feel secure and supported day and night. First off, Baylor has its own fully accredited police department, the Baylor University Police Department, BUPD. These aren't just security guards, they're state-certified police officers trained in everything from emergency response to community policing. They patrol campus 24/7, both on foot and by vehicle, and maintain a visible presence to help deter crime and offer quick assistance if needed. You'll also find blue light emergency call boxes spread out across the entire campus. These are tall, easily visible poles with emergency buttons you can press if you ever feel unsafe or need immediate help. The moment it's pressed, BUPD is notified and responds within minutes. It's a simple but powerful safety measure that brings a lot of peace of mind, especially if you're walking back from a late class or study session. Speaking of walking around campus at night, most students say they feel completely safe even during those late hours. Baylor makes a point of keeping the campus very well lit, especially on walking paths near dorms and around academic buildings. There's also a free campus shuttle service and safe ride programs for students who'd rather not walk alone after dark. On top of that, Baylor regularly hosts safety training workshops, crime prevention seminars, and emergency preparedness drills, so students are informed and empowered. They also offer the BU Campus Guardian app, which turns your phone into a personal safety device. You can set a safety timer, send your location to campus police, or request help instantly. Residence halls also have their own layers of protection. Entry is keycard restricted, and many dorms have front desk attendants or RAs monitoring who comes and goes. Visitors have to check in, and there are strict guest policies to help keep everyone safe. Baylor even goes a step further with mental health and crisis support services, offering 24/7 counseling and wellness resources. Because real campus safety means not only protecting your physical well-being, but your emotional and mental health too. So whether you're walking to class, grabbing a late night snack, or heading home from a game, Baylor's safety infrastructure makes sure you never have to question your security. It's one of those things that may not be flashy, but it matters every single day you're on campus. And finally, pros about Baylor University. Number 10, research and leadership opportunities. Last but definitely not least, Baylor is packed with opportunities for students who want to step up, stand out, and make a real impact. Whether you're into academics, service, innovation, or leadership, this is the kind of place where you're not just encouraged to get involved, you're supported every step of the way. Let's start with research. At many big-name universities, undergrads often get pushed to the sidelines when it comes to research, but not at Baylor. Here, undergraduate students actually get to roll up their sleeves and work directly with faculty on real-world research across a wide range of fields: biology, psychology, business, engineering, political science, you name it. Baylor invests heavily in undergraduate research programs, and many students start working in labs or on faculty-led projects as early as their freshman or sophomore year. These hands-on experiences help you build your resume, develop critical thinking skills, and make connections with professors who can mentor you or write letters of recommendation. Plus, some students even present at academic conferences or get published, which gives them a serious edge when applying for grad school or jobs. Now let's talk about leadership. Baylor has a strong emphasis on developing servant leaders, people who lead with both skill and purpose. There are dozens of student-led organizations, from academic clubs and honor societies to campus ministries, service groups, and cultural organizations. Whether you want to plan events, manage a team, advocate for change, or just grow your confidence, there's a place for you to lead. You can also run for student government, serve as a resident assistant, join a leadership development program, or apply to live in one of Baylor's living learning communities focused on service or leadership growth. These aren't just extracurriculars, they're platforms to sharpen your voice, your vision, and your ability to make things happen. And for students passionate about service, Baylor offers volunteer programs, mission trips, and community outreach that allow you to put your leadership into action beyond campus. Through groups like Steppin' Out, the Office of Community Engagement and Service, and local nonprofit partnerships, students are encouraged to be change makers right in Waco and around the world. What's powerful about Baylor's approach is that research and leadership aren't just for the top students, they're open to everyone who wants to grow. And by the time you graduate, you don't just walk away with a diploma, you walk away with experiences, confidence, and accomplishments that set you apart in the real world. I don't want to discourage you from coming to Baylor University, but here are must-know things before making the big decision. Number one, high tuition cost. Let's keep it real. Baylor is a private university, and with that comes a premium price tag. Tuition alone is significantly higher than what you'd find at public universities or community colleges, and that's before you even factor in housing, meals, textbooks, and other fees. As of recent years, Baylor's tuition and fees can run upwards of $50,000 per year, and with room and board added in, the total cost of attendance can easily exceed $70,000 annually. That's a major investment, and for many students and families, it can lead to taking out substantial student loans or relying heavily on scholarships, grants, and work study to help offset the cost. Now, it's true that Baylor offers strong financial aid and scholarships, as mentioned in the pros, and many students don't end up paying the full sticker price. But even with aid, some families still carry a heavy financial burden, especially if the student doesn't qualify for large merit-based awards or need-based grants. Another thing to consider: costs can increase over time. Tuition and fees may rise during your 4 years, which means the financial plan you start with might not be the same by the time you graduate. And for students planning to attend graduate or professional school later on, it's important to think ahead. How much debt are you comfortable taking on? Will your future salary be enough to handle monthly payments? Also, don't forget the opportunity cost. Some students may have full ride offers or large scholarships waiting at public universities, and turning those down for a more expensive Baylor experience is a decision that should be weighed carefully. You'll want to compare offers side by side, look at return on investment, ROI, and make sure the Baylor experience truly aligns with your long-term goals. It's not about saying Baylor isn't worth it. For many, it absolutely is. But it does mean being realistic. High tuition is a serious factor, and it requires open conversations, honest budgeting, and careful planning to make sure you're not overextending yourself financially for the college experience you want. Number 2, conservative campus culture. Baylor University leans socially and politically conservative, both in its policies and in the general campus atmosphere. Rooted in its Baptist heritage, the school promotes traditional Christian values that influence everything from student life expectations to chapel services and student organizations. For example, issues related to gender, sexuality, and progressive social movements may not be as openly embraced or discussed as they are on more liberal campuses. While the environment is not typically hostile, students from more diverse, secular, or progressive backgrounds may find it difficult to fully express themselves or feel represented. Some students appreciate Baylor's clear moral framework and structured environment, but for others, the lack of ideological diversity and openness can feel isolating or restrictive. Ultimately, it depends on your personal beliefs and how important cultural and political alignment is to your college experience. Number 3, mandatory chapel. All undergraduate students at Baylor are required to attend chapel services twice a week for at least their first 2 semesters. These gatherings typically include worship music, guest speakers, testimonies, and messages that reflect the university's Christian mission. For students who are religious or seeking spiritual growth, chapel can be a meaningful time to reflect, connect with others, and deepen their faith. However, for those who come from different faith traditions or who prefer a more secular college experience, the requirement may feel intrusive or unnecessary. Chapel attendance is tracked, and repeated absences can affect your standing, so it's not something you can opt out of without a formal exemption. While Baylor emphasizes that chapel is meant to enrich the student experience, it's important to understand that this is a structured part of campus life rooted in the school's religious identity. Whether you find it inspiring or inconvenient, it's a commitment that comes with choosing Baylor. Next, number 4, strict code of conduct. Baylor enforces a detailed student handbook known as the Student Conduct Code, which outlines clear expectations for behavior both on and off campus. The university's Christian values are reflected in these rules, and they cover areas like alcohol consumption, drug use, honesty, dress, and sexual conduct, including expectations around abstinence outside of marriage and cohabitation. Violating these policies can result in disciplinary action, which may range from warnings to probation or even suspension in more serious cases. For some students, especially those who value a faith-based and principled environment, the structure provides a sense of accountability and moral consistency. However, for others, especially those used to more freedom or autonomy, the guidelines can feel overly restrictive. For example, even if you're 21 or older, alcohol is still not permitted on campus or at university-sponsored events, and certain housing restrictions can limit how and where students can live or visit. Ultimately, Baylor's Code of Conduct is about aligning student life with the university's spiritual mission. If you're looking for a traditional college party scene or more personal freedom and lifestyle choices, Baylor might not offer the level of flexibility you're hoping for. It's important to go in knowing that these rules are taken seriously and form a core part of the Baylor experience. Number 5, limited party scene. Baylor's party scene is much more subdued compared to other large universities, largely due to its faith-based foundation and strict student conduct policies. The university prohibits alcohol on campus and at school-sponsored events, and there are strong guidelines around behavior that discourage the traditional college party culture. This includes strict oversight of Greek life. While Baylor does have fraternities and sororities, they are subject to the same code of conduct, which significantly limits the frequency and type of social events they can host. Because of this, you won't find massive house parties, frat row bashes, or wild tailgates every weekend. Social life tends to revolve around more structured university-approved events, campus ministries, sports games, or smaller gatherings among friends. Some students appreciate the quieter, more values-driven environment, which can help them stay focused on academics or faith-based community. Others, however, may find the social atmosphere too tame or feel like they're missing out on a more typical college experience. That said, students who want to have fun still find ways to enjoy themselves. Waco has local hangouts, music venues, and restaurants, and there are always off-campus events happening. But if your ideal college experience includes a vibrant nightlife or a weekend party circuit, it's worth considering whether Baylor's culture will align with your expectations. Number 6. Waco isn't a big city. While Waco has experienced growth in recent years, thanks in part to the popularity of Fixer Upper and the Magnolia brand, it's still very much a small to mid-sized city. It has a charming, laid-back vibe with a mix of local coffee shops, boutiques, outdoor spaces like Cameron Park, and a slowly expanding food and arts scene. Downtown is walkable, and Baylor students often enjoy the nearby Riverwalk area, the farmers market, or occasional concerts and events at the Waco Hippodrome or Extraco Event Center. However, if you're used to a fast-paced urban environment like Dallas, Houston, or Los Angeles, Waco might feel a bit quiet or limited. The nightlife options are minimal, public transportation is lacking, and the variety of entertainment, shopping, and cultural experiences is far less than what you'd find in a major metro area. While there are things to do, especially for students willing to explore, don't expect 24/7 activity or an endless calendar of events. For some students, Waco offers a peaceful, community-focused setting that's perfect for staying grounded and focused during college. But for others who crave constant stimulation, diversity, or a faster lifestyle, the slower pace of Waco may take some adjustment. Fortunately, bigger cities like Austin and Dallas are each about 90 minutes away, making weekend trips a doable escape. On to number 7, public transportation is limited. You'll probably want a car if you're living in Waco. The campus is walkable, but getting around the city, whether it's grocery runs or exploring, can be tough without wheels. Uber and Lyft are available, but they can add up. Next up, number 8, diversity could be better. Baylor has made efforts in recent years to improve racial, ethnic, and cultural diversity across campus, including the creation of multicultural student organizations, diversity-focused events, and support services for underrepresented students. However, despite these initiatives, the university still has a long way to go when it comes to reflecting the broader diversity of Texas or the nation. The majority of the student body remains predominantly white, and some students of color or international students report feeling underrepresented or even isolated, particularly in certain majors, residence halls, or social circles. While there are groups like the Department of Multicultural Affairs, the Asian Student Association, Black Student Union, and Latinx Coalition, some students feel these organizations operate on the margins rather than being integrated into the broader campus culture. Additionally, discussions around race, identity, and inclusion can sometimes feel uncomfortable or underdeveloped in classroom settings, especially when compared to more progressive universities. Students from diverse backgrounds may also find fewer faculty members or administrators who share their cultural experiences, which can make it harder to find mentors or feel fully understood. That said, many students do find supportive communities at Baylor, and the university has publicly committed to expanding diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Progress is being made, but if being in a highly diverse or socially progressive environment is a top priority for you, it's something to carefully consider. Number 9, social circles can be tight-knit. At Baylor, social life often revolves around structured communities like Greek life, religious organizations, and long-established student groups. While these groups offer strong bonds and a built-in sense of belonging for those who join early on, they can also create the feeling of cliques or exclusivity, especially for students who arrive without pre-existing connections or who don't immediately find a niche. Because many students form friendships through shared faith practices, small groups, service projects, or fraternity, sorority life, the social scene can feel insular at first. If you're not part of a major student organization, it may take more intentional effort to get involved and build relationships. Students who are more introverted, non-religious, or from different cultural backgrounds might find the initial transition a bit challenging. That said, once you find your place, whether it's through intramural sports, academic clubs, residence hall communities, or cultural organizations, there are definitely ways to thrive socially at Baylor. It just might require a little more patience and proactive outreach compared to other schools with a more open or spontaneous social dynamic. The good news is that Baylor students are often friendly, welcoming, and values-driven. If you're willing to step outside your comfort zone early on, you'll likely find a group of friends who align with your interests and personality, but it's important to know that building that circle might not happen instantly. it's a process. And finally, number 10, high expectations and pressure. Baylor holds its students to high standards, not just academically, but also in leadership, character, service, and spiritual growth. The university emphasizes the idea of developing the whole person, which sounds inspiring and motivating, but can also create an intense sense of pressure to constantly perform in all areas of life. Many students feel like they have to be excelling in the classroom, serving in leadership roles, actively involved in their church or ministry, maintaining a positive social life, and staying grounded spiritually all at once. And this high achieving culture can be empowering for some students who thrive on structure and purpose, but for others it can be overwhelming. The pressure to be a model Baylor student may lead to burnout, especially if you're not good at setting personal boundaries or managing your time effectively. Some students also report feeling like there's a subtle competition to be seen as polished, faithful, and successful, what some call the Baylor bubble, where everyone seems to be doing well, even if they're struggling behind the scenes. While Baylor offers support through academic advisors, counseling services, campus ministries, and wellness resources, it's ultimately up to students to recognize when they need to slow down, ask for help, or say no. Maintaining balance and mental health is crucial here. If you're a perfectionist or tend to overcommit, it's especially important to go into Baylor with a plan to protect your well-being. Final thoughts: so is Baylor worth it? Is. If you're looking for a university with strong academics, a gorgeous and safe campus, Christian values, and a tight-knit community, it could be the perfect fit. But if you're hoping for a more relaxed, diverse, or urban experience, you may want to weigh your options carefully. And hey, if you're planning to attend Baylor or just thinking about relocating to Waco, let's talk. I'm Enoch Coronado with Coronado Realty Group, and I help people just like you find the perfect place to live in and around Waco. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and drop your questions in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.